Hello, Dr. Joe here of the AskDrJoe.org and the 2020from.com. So, first of all, I will apologize that the video series, the 8 weeks video series that I promised about reversal of diabetes will be delayed by 1 week. It will be starting next week instead of today. Because I felt I needed to do this video today, I wanted this video to be a forerunner to the 8 weeks diabetes reversal video series. And the reason for this is that, I want you to know that there are tools available for you to reverse your type 2 diabetes if you really want to. And today's video is about one of those tools. So there is some logic to the delay. So what is today's video about? Well, it's about this very product here, not necessarily about this brand. This is a Moringa powder product, okay? And I wanted to find out the effects of Moringa on my blood glucose management, and I felt you needed to see this because it is so important. It is an eye-opener. And what I did, as usual with my n=1 experiment, is that I try to put quite a number of controls in place to make the test as scientifically valid as it can possibly be under the circumstance. So I tested over 2 days, and of course I used the same carbohydrate meal because of course it's got to be a carbohydrate meal. You need that challenge to see how the Moringa will rise to that very challenge. So what were the controls I had in place? Well, over the 2 days, I made sure I had the same exercise. I did the same exercise over the 2 evenings. I made sure I had the same amount of sleep over the 2 nights. I made sure I had the same dinner over the 2 evenings. I also made sure that I performed the tests around the same time on the 24-hour clock. So those checks were in place, and of course I used the same meal. And to achieve that, what I did was I bought a supermarket pre-prepared meal, and this was the meal: chicken tikka masala. Of course, it's got rice in there. The rice is going to be the challenge. That's the carbohydrate that is going to be the challenge. So I ate this chicken tikka masala with the rice over the 2 days. And on day 1, I ate this meal without any Moringa to see what my blood sugar profile was going to be. And then of course, in day 2, what I did was I had the same meal, but I also had the Moringa with it, okay? It was a powder. I had them together. And then of course, I also wanted to see what my blood sugar profile was going to be with the Moringa. And of course, then I compared the two. So, it's quite an interesting test. It's going to be an eye-opener for you, so you better stay tuned to watch this. It's quite really revealing. But before we go into that, just a quick plug. This is my book on managing high blood pressure with lifestyle approach. Links to get the book right below this very video. So let's get started, and as usual, of course, I have to do my fasting because I fasted over the 2 mornings as well. So let's see what my fasting is going to be. That's usually the starting point on day 1. So I'm just going to prick myself and then get a little droplet of blood. This is fasting. So I'm just testing it out now. And then we'll just wait a little while to see what my fasting blood sugar is going to be like. And then I'm going to have the food. Okay, so that's my fasting today. That's 3.5. And now it's time for the meal. The next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to eat the food now. finished eating. I've not had the moringa today. What time is it now? It's 2:32 or so. Okay. So 1 hour later, this is without the moringa. What was my blood sugar reading after having this chicken tikka masala? Sugar level. The time now is about 3:35 or so. So this is 1 hour from when I had the meal. 1 hour test. This is today's test without moringa. Okay. Ouch. That hurts. So squeeze out a bit of blood. So smear the blood again. Just wait and see. Okay, so 6.3. So there you go. At the end of day 1 of the test, where I did not have the moringa, my blood sugar went up by 2.8 millimole per liter. That's the equivalent of 50 milligram per deciliter. So that is the rise of day 1. Let's see what's going to happen on day 2, when I'm going to have the chicken tikka masala along with the moringa together. So let's see what happens next. It's day 2 of the moringa blood sugar test. So essentially, if you remember yesterday, I had the food without the moringa. So today is with the moringa here. That's the essential difference. And I did put in place some controls. Had the same dinner that I had the night before, same dinner I had last night, did the same exercise, had the same amount of sleep, and now I'm going to eat the same food. And also, it's around the same time as well. I've got to start off with the fasting. So what's my fasting today? Now, I don't expect it to be exactly the same, but because the controls are in place, it shouldn't be too radically different today. So I've just turned on my blood sugar monitor for us to know what my fasting is today. Squeeze out some blood to the monitor now to read. So this is going to be my fasting, okay? So we just wait for that. So today's fasting is 3.7, okay? 3.7. I don't know if you can see that. 3.7. Next thing is food time. Okay, so now we know my fasting. Now food time. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make, this is the moringa here. I've put a spoonful there. Now I'm just going to add some warm water. Add some more. So just mix it up. So this is just water and moringa, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drink a little bit before I have the meal. I just drink a little bit. Time for food. So having the same chicken tikka masala. It's one of the controls I have in place just to make sure that the test is as scientific as it can possibly be. Okay, so just like yesterday, I'm just going to consume the food. So there we go. I finished eating the chicken tikka masala with the rice, and I have also drank the moringa. Okay, so it's all finished. What time is it? It's about what, 2:28 now or so. About 2:28. So and now the revelation time. What happened to my blood sugar reading 1 hour later after having the chicken tikka masala along with the moringa powder? I don't know what to expect. I've not run this test before, so it's all going to be news to me. It's 3:28 or thereabout. So this is exactly 1 hour. Today, let's see. I have no idea what this is going to turn out to be. So there we go. Pricked myself. This is 1 hour having the chicken tikka masala with the rice. Then let's see what the reading is going to be. So if the Moringa does well, then it should be less than 2.8 difference between the fasting and the 1 hour. So what we've got? 5.0. That's pretty good, actually. I'm surprised. That's pretty good. 5.0. Yeah, because yesterday my 1 hour post meal was 6.3. So this one is 5.0. I'm amazed. And that is the result for day 2. Moringa clearly did a very good job there. On day 1, my blood sugar went up by 2.8, which is the equivalent of 50 milligram per deciliter. And with the Moringa on day 2, my blood sugar only went up by 1.3 millimole per liter, which is equivalent of 23 milligram per deciliter. As far as I'm concerned, that is a victory, because that's more than a 50% reduction in my blood sugar levels over the 2 days. So that is a victory in my books. So that was my real-world experiment and experience result. Do I have any other to share with you? Any other real-world experience to share with you? Well, as it happens, somebody just left this comment now that I'm going to be sharing with you now. Below my video, the last video that I did on Moringa, he just left this comment a couple of days ago. So let's have a look. The fella's name is BG, and he says, in South Florida, this plant grows so fast and so easy and can become an enormous tree. It needs to be trimmed often, and I see branches of it on the side of the road all the time. I feel very thankful that I now have multiple Moringa trees at my home. It helped cure my mom's diabetes and gives me energy and a mental boost. So, I don't like to use the word cure. I prefer to use the word reversal. But I have to say, he used the word cure because that was how he felt. The fact that the mom doesn't have to deal with blood sugar worries any longer on account of using Moringa, which is something that is readily available, at least in places where you have tropical weather. Anyway, you can have the fresh plant in those places. It just goes to show how profound the effect of Moringa can be on one's health. So it is very clear that Moringa as a plant is beneficial for the management of your type 2 diabetes. If you really want to, of course, you can use the powder, or if you live in a tropical environment where the fresh plant is available in your neighborhood, go ahead and plant some in your back garden, and you can have access to the fresh leaves, which are probably better than the powder. And just apply them. Use these leaves or use the powder to your advantage in managing your type 2 diabetes, because it is quite clear from the result that when I had this rice meal without the Moringa, my blood sugar went up by 2.8 millimole per liter, which is the equivalent of 50 milligram per deciliter without, okay? And on day 2, when I had this same rice meal with the Moringa, my blood sugar only went up by 1.3 millimole per liter, which is equivalent of 23 milligram per deciliter. That is a reduction of just over 50%. So that's pretty good. And I think if you incorporate Moringa into your diet, into your lifestyle, as someone who's got type 2 diabetes, you are going to see results. And then, of course, in addition to using the Moringa, if you apply the same principles that I'm going to be sharing with you in the 8 weeks video series, then there's only one outcome. You are going to reverse your type 2 diabetes. It is that simple. So long as you're prepared to put the effort in, this video, what I've just shared with you in this very video, along with what I'm going to be sharing with you over the next 8 weeks, you are definitely going to see results. That much I can promise, okay? So hopefully you got some value from this very video. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, please like the video, and also please share this video with your friends, your family, and your colleagues. if you've got any questions, any comments regarding the content of this very video, go ahead, leave your comments or questions down below. And by the way, do remember that in askdrjoe.org, you can ask any questions that you want over there, and of course I will answer them. I think that's about it for this very video. Until next time, well, this is Dr. Joe signing out.